All right, monochromatic breeding, our need for diversified livestock. First reading, I made it to sectionals, and now I'm going to try and make it to nationals. We'll see how far I get. Aiming for the top. Yep. Like many of my fellow FFA members, I too started with high-yielding breeds on my farm. But after learning of their short production periods, my search began. After hours of research, I integrated heritage stock into my farm. After doing so, I realized countless breeds sacrifice longevity for higher production. Commercial breeds are great for rapid growth rates, but past their processing date, issues appear. Most physically can't keep up with their growth, are unable to reproduce without artificial insemination, and become vulnerable to diseases along with injuries. On the other hand, some heritage stock may not gain as quickly as their commercial counterpart, but grow vigorously without highly concentrated feed, can breed naturally, have a hardy immune system, Instead of enabling biased, farmers, judges, advisors, and FFA members should integrate heritage stock into being more accepted and mainstream. Our society and factory farms need breeds that grow fast and can be processed in a timely manner. However, they sacrifice functionality for quick gains, leading to frequent antibiotic use, highly concentrated supplements, and producers must strictly enforce biosecurity practices to counteract a compromised immune system. They suffer from a limited gene pool due to strict selective breeding, leading to a lack of natural adaptations. Simply put, the industry standards is to rebreed the same faulty traits for more products. Now, these mainstream breeds do not fit every project or farm. That's why some farmers turn to heritage stock. The breeds our forefathers used dating back to before antibiotics were a requirement for the commercial upkeep. Heritage stock usually gets overlooked. That's where my drive to show them started. I wanted to spread awareness and give the show ring and market some diversity. Let me paint you a picture. Look at me, all dolled up for my first fair. Boots shined, tallywhacker tucked. Before I entered the ring, I started looking around with my horned sheep trotting by my side. The other exhibitors giggled and pointed me towards the goats. As I walk into the ring, the judge and I make eye contact. He sees my white face. Then he automatically drops me to the back of the class. Later, that same judge who placed me in last said he did so because he's never judged a horned Dorset in a market class. Judged a horned sheep in a market class. It was outside his comfort zone. This happens to many exhibitors, regardless of the species, in or outside of the ring. Why do things need to be so black and white? How are we supposed to inspire diversity when our role models refuse to leave their comfort zones? Judges need to be educated beyond the juggernauts in the ring. Those mainstream sculptured powerhouses trade resilient genes for a short-lived gain. With artificial insemination, C-sections, and rejecting mothers, commercial livestock has grown to be the standard. This issue goes beyond including more diversity in animals at fair or a few farms. The current push for a one-breed focus limits growth in species, farmers, and animal products. Instead of restricting our options, we can diversify the show ring and industry, making variety the norm instead of the last place outcast. Luckily, there are already organizations trying to help. One of the major nonprofit organizations that promotes heritage breeds is the Livestock Conservancy. The main message is that heritage animals represent an irreplaceable piece of Earth's biodiversity that may be needed and offers incredible variety that may be needed for future farms. Robust health, mothering instincts, foraging, and the ability to thrive in a changing climate. The need for growth hormones is lowered, allowing for a longer lifespan, natural reproduction, and less manipulated products. These breeds utilize the land, a natural lawnmower, fertilizer, and rototiller, making the soil richer and reducing the feed bill. Heritage stock is often generalized as less efficient and slow growing. However, let's not categorize so quickly. According to the Red Wattle Hog Association, red wattle pigs are known for hardiness, foraging activity, and rapid growth rate. The sows are excellent mothers, farrowing from 7 to 12 piglets and providing good quantities of milk for their large litters. Sadly, they're one of the top threatened hog breeds on the Conservancy's priority list. Many of these breeds are in danger of becoming extinct because they can't thrive in the confinement of intense farming operations. I want to inspire you to have an open mind when it comes to livestock. It is more than what you see in your chapter or county. There are breeds you've never heard of, but maybe that is the one that inspires someone to start a new breeding project. There are organizations offering grants, scholarships, and more to help fund scholarships, shows, and more to help fund encounters with a variety of livestock. Back to one of the prides of my farm, my horn Dorset. Considering all of the desirable attributes of the Dorset breed, they lend themselves to make excellent youth breeding projects and market land projects. My horn Dorsets are shown around the state in breeding and market classes. Speaking of showing, due to a growing interest, the Continental Dorset Club funded and hosted its first Western Regional Junior Show at the 2022 Oregon State Fair, with prizes and premiums for every youth participant. The Advantage class was created due to more crossbreeding with registered heritage stock. This shows progress towards genetic diversity and utilization of heritage genes. I've learned some counties have heritage turkeys as market animals, which could be adopted into all of Oregon. Yes, they are going to be smaller than the traditional broad-breasted, but there's so much variety. Not only in the colors, but they offer different tasting meat, more muscular bodies, a greater activity levels, and traits dating back to before colonial times. Think of how cool it would be to go to a fair and show off the whole species, not just a fat thing-skinny dinner that struggles to walk. The American Poultry Association wants to help in the advancement of poultry knowledge and education in all phases, ensuring the longevity of standard bred poultry. The focus on broad-breasted turkeys as market animals has overshadowed the positive traits heritage turkeys offer. We need advisors, families, and other organizations like FFA and 4-H to give the next generation the chance to learn about these breeds. Members and their families can explore opportunities in hopes of preserving the variety within a species. We can increase diversity now by integrating heritage stock to benefit our future. We have control of the future. Times are changing, so we need to create a future for animals and our world that we can be proud of. Don't enable the bias surrounding heritage stock. Instead, be a part of the change. Thank you. Ooh, I actually made good time. So this has to be under 8 minutes, and that was actually under 8 minutes with a lot of stuttering and speaking at bullet fast speed. But I think it made sense. So this, at the point in the competition, would be where the judges ask me questions such as, okay, what is heritage stock? Okay, why should we adopt heritage turkeys? What advantages to natural breeding? What are the advantages to natural breeding? What kind of heritage stock do you have on your farm? You said you started with high-yielding breeds. Like what? Are you trying to replace the factory farm? Are you trying to replace the higher producing farms to have more commercial, to change from commercial to heritage? So they would be giving me all those questions, and then I would be answering them. So let's go with, are you trying to change the already standard commercial breeds to heritage in in our animal system? The answer is no. I'm not trying to influence that. The answer is no. I'm not trying to say we need to change that. We need high-producing animals, such as novogens, which are high-producing egg layers. We need those animals. There's so much of a demand for food right now that feeding over 7 billion people just isn't realistic with heritage stock. But if anything were to happen to our already existing commercial stock, we need something to fall back on. Just recently, we had an outbreak of avian influenza, which is the bird flu and is highly contagious and took out multiple hundreds of thousands of chickens and turkeys throughout our state and nation. Some of our heritage stock was not only able to combat this disease, but build up immunities. Our commercial stock, not so much. Due to our fixation on high production, we've lost immunity to diseases such as avian influenza. So instead of rebreeding, instead of replacing commercial with heritage, we need to integrate and make sure those commercial have the best genes possible for combating different scenarios like avian influenza or injuries, things like that. Commercial breeds are great for quick gaining animals. That's just a given. They're great for high producing. Given, we can't have a society without them. But if anything were to happen to these breeds, we need something that is good. We need something that can boost and lift up, I guess, in a way. And that's where heritage comes in. Also, increasing diversity on smaller scale farms, excellent idea. Not necessarily commercial farms. Smaller scale farms can also increase that diversity. Should they replace it? No. I have commercial and I have heritage. However, when they interbreed and we have those commercial crossbreds, that I have found is a great way of both keeping heritage traits and commercial traits. So that is what I'm trying to get at. Not that one is better than the other. They both have their flaws. They both have their strengths. But we need to combine them. Not necessarily replace, but integrate them so that we can keep these heritage alive and we can help the commercial side also stay strong. So as you can see, I have a lot to do. I usually go on tangents, so I need to work on that. I also need to work on my strong answers. I need to work on eye contact, because even that, I could tell that I was looking all around my room and not directly at the camera or my sheep. I have a sheep right there. It's a stuffed animal that I'm talking to. So that's something I can work on. Making sure I'm not out of breath. We want strong, we want passion, but we also want chill. So this is my first day. This is Saturday, February, one sec, 18th, February 18th. My speech is on the 24th. So I have a little bit of time to get this down, and I hope that you'll stay along with me for the ride. All right. And also, if later Denali is watching this, I know you're going to cringe a lot. I'm sorry. You'll deal with it. I'll be fine. And if you're looking back, look how far you've come already. I know you'll do great. Just believe in yourself, okay? You're saying about the stuff you love, so tell the world.